Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Yeager class. This is a scout. The USS Yeager, which is still active. There was 12 additional that were built. 10 have been lost in all. So I guess that means that out of 13 ships, we only have 3 ships left, which is not very good for this, for any class of starship. Commissioned in 2374, class does remain in service. We have a length of 380 or 328.9 meters. We have a beam of 150 meters, a height of 85.52 meters, and it's listed as having 11 decks. Now, the 11 decks comes from Canon, seeing that it is in yellow here on Daystrom's website. Um, the mass is coming in roughly about 800 or 580,000 metric tons. Apparently, I can't read very well tonight. Okay, we do have a crew listed as about 135. The armament are eight Type 8 phaser arrays and two Type 8 phaser banks. The banks are outputting about 9,500 terawatts and four standard photon torpedo tubes with 20 rounds, 20 torpedoes. All right, our defensive system is being listed as standard shield system. Total capacity is 513,000 terajoules. We do have a standard duranium titanium single hull. A standard level structural integrity field is equipped as well. Our warp speeds, our normal cruise is a warp 6. Our maximum cruise is a warp 7.8, and our max rated is 8.2 for 12 hours. We do have a beam firepower listed as 190. Keep in mind our Galaxy class, according to Daystrom's, would be a 1000. Our torpedo firepower is 500. Our weapon range and accuracy is a 400. Our shield strength is 190, and our hull armor is 50. We do have a speed listed as 800 or 581. I don't know why I keep mixing. It's like I'm getting dyslexic here this evening. I don't know why. I must just be that tired. Combat maneuverability is listed as 5,500. So it is fairly maneuverable for Starship, but it is lacking in a lot of other regards. But seeing that this is also a smaller scout ship, um, it does make some sense here. Overall strength index from Daystrom is being rated as a 329. Our diplomatic capability is listed as a 3, and our expected hull life is 80 years, with a refit cycle having a minor and standard refit at every year and a major refit every 20 years. Um, and the write up that we have, another member of Starfleet's Frankenstein fleet, the Yeager class, was rushed into service in 2374 during Starfleet's retreat from the Dominion during the early phase of the war. This design melds a standard Intrepid saucer section with an engineering hull which is based off a scale up version of the Peregrine variant. The later was chosen because of the extreme ease with which it could be constructed by the starbases involved. Like all the Frankenstein fleet, the Jaeger is significantly below its uh, properly designed counterparts in terms of performance. The area in which the Jaeger suffers most is speed. While the Intrepid is amongst the fastest classes in the fleet, the Jaeger can only break warp 8 for relatively short periods. This is largely due to the rush in which the ships were completed. There was insufficient time to properly match the hull configuration with the warp field, resulting in a serious loss of efficiency. The Jaeger also suffers somewhat in firepower. The forward facing torpedo tubes of the Intrepid are located on the engineering hull and so are not present on the Jaeger. The ship is thus left with only the aft firing tubes. The number of phaser banks is also reduced, although the presence of two large phaser cannons on the engineering hull largely compensate for this in terms of absolute firepower. There is a significant lack of phaser coverage on the ship's aft. The Yeager participated in the operations to recover Deep Space Nine, but this is their duty offensive action so far. They are largely used in a defensive role due to their inherent deficiencies. Jaegers are often to be seen as part of a Deep Space Nine defensive screen and have operated in several other locations in that area. Despite the relative backstage role, many of the ships have been lost during the Dominion attacks. All right, so most of this is speculation, but there are a nice listing of flavorings here from actual canon sources. Uh, you know, kind of nice to get a little bit of both here. Um, let's see. Reading on from all the other comments that they have, which I don't know if I really want to get into. You know, however they came about it, whether it's just kit bashing models and everything else, just trying to get a ship together because that's how they did the ships at that time. It's still worthy of taking notice, whether it's liked, disliked, whatever. It's still something there, and we do have to give them credit for at least trying to get us something different instead of always rehashing an old ship model. So, with that, let's get into our D6 stats and take a look at what kind of write up we have from D6 Holocron. All right, so the Yeager class. Now we're considering this a cruiser from D6 Holocron instead of a scout. Capital scale. We do have a length of 402 meters, a width of 195 meters, and a height of 58 meters. The ship's mass comes into 550,000 metric tons. This is a size 6 starship. We do have an autopilot of a 2D plus 2, so just a hair above our galactic standard. They have a higher crew listed here with 204. A skeleton crew of 20 can operate the ship with a plus 10. We do have passengers listed at 60. Most likely, I'm going to go off on a limb saying for the time frame that this was built, uh, most likely Marine troops, um, or unless maybe they're shuttling relief crews for other ships. We do have a cargo capacity of 66,000 metric tons and consumables for 1 year. Now, they've listed the warp drive having a standard warp capacity or capability of or cruise speed of 6, a maximum warp of 9, and a max rated at 9.55 for 12 hours. So they have it listed going faster than what uh, Daystrom has it listed at. Whether you agree with it or not, um, it's up to you. Of course, we're going to have a nav computer that is very standard here with pretty much all Star Trek ships. Our maneuverability is a 1D plus 1, and we have a space speed of 9. The ship comes in with a hull strength of 3D and a shield strength of 2D plus 1. Sensors, we do have passive sensors going out to 4 kilometers with a 1D plus 1 bonus. Our active scan is at 12 kilometers with a 2D bonus. Our active search is a range of 15 kilometers at a 2D plus 2 bonus. And our focus goes out to 500 meters with a 3D plus 1 bonus. All right, getting into our weapon systems. Uh, D6 Holocron has listed 5 Type 8 phaser arrays, giving us a 250-degree dorsal starboard, 250 dorsal port, 250 dorsal, ventral, and 360 forward and 360 aft. So they are listing this as being well covered, um, however you want to view that. All right, so location, saucer dorsal starboard, saucer dorsal port, saucer ventral, and engineering hull forward aft. Um, we do have a crew of one for all of our, our gunnery skills here. Okay, so we do have fire control of +2 with a damage of 3D. Now, this also has a fire rate of 2, so this is a slower fire rate than some of the other ships we've had, probably to denote that it is, as stated before, a Frankenstein ship. Things aren't kind of matched as well as what they could be. So it's not a lot of damage, and the fire rate is not as good as what we've seen on a lot of the other ships. All right, we also have two Type 2 um, or two Type 8 phaser arrays uh, for 180-degree forward. These would probably be on the engineering section, ventral and starboard pylons from the engineering here. Again, with fire control of +2, fire rate is 1 and has a 3D damage. We do have a photon torpedo launcher. Let's see. This is a forward. Uh, Location is forward ventral, so on our engineering hull or underneath our primary hull uh, on the saucer section. We do have a fire control of +2. Fire or our spread is 8 and damage is 4D. Now we have 40 Type 2 photon torpedoes in all. So um, I think Daystrom had mentioned it was only 20 torpedoes, but I think they were mentioning per launcher, so that would make it up to our 40 total, which is what we have listed here. We do have 3 Class Delta tractor beams, 2 forward, 1 aft. Fire control is a +2, and strength is 4D +2. We also have tractor beams for the shuttle bay, class Alpha. Fire control is 0, and strength is 3D. Getting into the fun things for our crew quarters here, we do have basic quarters for 175, expanded quarters for 50 personnel, luxury quarters for 15, and 5 unusual quarters. Um, this is where D6 Holocron and Daystrom break a little bit. Daystrom has it listed for 11 decks, where D6 Holocron has got it listed at 13 decks. Now, we do have 14 escape pods with the capacity for 4 personnel in each one. This was commissioned in 2373. And we have 3 transporters for a capacity of 6 personnel in each transporter, 3 emergency transporters, which can transport 18 personnel, 2 cargo transporters, which can transport 400 kilograms. Our complement are 6 shuttlecraft and 3 shuttle pods, and we do have 40 probes. All right, and the short write-up that we have from D6 Holocron, the Yeager is a type of Federation starship in service during the 2370s. Uh, I'm second guessing myself for the year of commission because I almost wanted to say I said the wrong number there. Um, the USS Yeager participated in the Operation Return and was part of the defense force that protected Deep Space Nine throughout the duration of the war. DS9 Sacrifice of Angels. So this comes to us from Memory Alpha and Memory Beta, and from Starship Recognition Manual 1 Space Dock. So that's the nuts and bolts of what we have here today. With that being said, thank you so very much for joining me. It's always wonderful having you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.